Well, I'm long overdue for working a local job on the new UP Fresno South sub that came out a few months back. So I figured I'd set one up. And before I just start working it, I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes and show you how I prepare some of these local jobs that have never worked before and the ones that don't have any cars, at those industries yet on the map. All right, so I'm on the depot's website and I need to go up to reference and then yard and customer tags. And then I want Southern California. And now I can click sort by local. And then I can scroll down and I'm looking for any of the ones where under the yard column it says, or the map column it says Fresno South. And there we go. So by clicking on the local symbol, I'm now in the page that shows just the industries under the LRP 96. I want to check the depot's map and see where these industries are. So I've opened up the UP Fresno South map in Affinity, which is a program like Adobe Illustrator, but this one's free, and I actually like it better than Illustrator. And what I do is I create a square that I put over each page, and I got it set to the color black with a transparency and opacity of 35%. And I just copy and paste it on each page, and it just makes it a lot easier to look at versus seeing that bright white background, especially at night. Now I'm on page 3 because that's the page that the depot website said these industries are on, and I'm just drawing a box here around all the industries that are part of this LRP 96. And this just makes it easier in the future to look at my map PDF, and I can push that there. So now I got the list and I can make sure this is all the industries in the LRP 96 from the depot website. And it just makes it easier when you're working the local jobs to see where you're at and quickly find the local that you're looking for. And it looks like Nutrien AG up here in the top left is also part of the LRP 96, so I'll put a box around that too. And then on page 2, we've got, what is that, Kovacevic Farms? Kovacevic 5 Farms. So I'll also highlight this one. On the depot's website, it says this is on page 1, so it probably just needs to be updated. So we're good here. Next, I have to open up Order Builder. And if I click on trains here, I can see all the local jobs that are currently set up for Southern California, but there is no LRP 96 in this list. And that's because I need to update the customers to the most recent customer file. Now, on the depot forum, under the third-party support thread, I got to find this one down here, Order Builder Release and Support Thread. And that's where you can download by clicking on the blue links there. You can download Order Builder, and it gives you all the info for all the different recent updates. If I scroll to the bottom, you can see the attachment there. That's the most recent customer attachment. And you got to make sure if you are going to use this that you back up, follow the directions there just above the attachment, and make sure you back up your current customer file just in case. Now I have the customers imported into Order Builder, and after clicking on trains, you can see the LRP 96 is now in here, and these are all the industries. Now, since I've never worked this local job before, all these industries aren't going to have any cars on the industry tracks, and we'll take care of that now. So I'll open up the industry configuration and use an order builder to see what industries are in the list. The first one here on the list is Builders First Source Bakersfield, so I can transport right there. And here's the tracks. I could turn the tags on, industry tags, and there it is. And it looks like they take, what was that, 3 loaded center beams? So they take loaded center beams and they produce empties. And the type that's currently set up is the TTZX01 and 02. So I'm just going to put 2 of those down, and I'm going to leave them empty because it produces empties. So these would be ready for pickup empty. and I'm just going to add RV for Roseville in the tags. And that one's done. Builder's first source is done. And next up we have GAF materials. So I can transport over there, and that looks like it takes boxcars and 2-bay covered hoppers. And I'll open up Order Builder again, and I'm also using a program called Power Toys, and that will allow me to keep this Order Builder window on top, even though I'm working in Run 8. So I'll just get it off to the side so I can see what types of cars this industry takes. And then inside of Run 8, I'm going to grab the covered hoppers and the box cars. So now I'll do covered hoppers. These are 2 bays, and Order Builder tells you there, you can see on the left what types are needed, what specific liveries or reporting marks. So I'm just going to grab a few of those, and you can customize it. You could do whatever you want here, but I'm just going to follow along, what Order Builder is saying, but you can use any cars you want if you're doing this in single player. And so covered hoppers, it takes 12 loaded, so these will be ready for pickup. So these will be empties, and I'm gonna go with 9, and I just do a random reorder, random reverse, place them down, and then I'm gonna again leave these empty, and I'll just in the car tag, it could be Fort Worth or North Platte. So in the tagger, I can highlight all of them and just change them to NP for North Platte, leave them empty, and we're all set there. And now all I'm going to do is just repeat what I just did here for this industry, and I'm just going to do this down the list until I've got some cars ready for pickup at all the industries on this local. And maybe I'll leave one empty or leave a car full, or just so it has to stay. You get creative there and do whatever you want. Now this last step, and this is something that a lot of people I think get caught up on, including myself, is figuring out the correct blocking order. What order should you put the cars in before you generate the train here in Order Builder, or if you were building it manually in your Bakersfield, UP Bakersfield yard, what order should they be put in for this specific local job? So I'm going to show you what I do. We're going to do it live right here. I guess it's not live, but I haven't thought of it yet, so I'm going to figure it out as we go. So this is just the order that they came in. I don't know that this is in the right order. Probably is just it might even be alphabetized, it kind of looks like. Yeah, I think it is. But Order Builder is awesome because it allows you, before you generate this train, you can drag these and put them and it saves it. So now Builder's first is going to be down here. So when it generates the train, and if you have it block cars by customer sorted, it's going to be in this order. The customers will be in this order, and you can rearrange it. So that's a great feature. All right, page 3 here of the UP Fresno South map. Here's all the industries. So now you can see how what we did earlier really helps, because I can look at page 2 and page 3 and quickly see exactly which ones I got to deal with. We're going to be starting from UP Bakersfield Yard, which is off the map here on the Mojave map. And we're going to be coming this way. We're going to be heading north to the left here, because Saco's right over here. So we're going to be coming this way, and I'm going to have to go into this siding, and then we got our first industries here. So I'm going to do the trailing point industries first, continue on. We won't be able to do that one yet. Go all the way past, because this is facing point, so I can't even do that. All the way past, I'm going to have to do a run around here at the Early Mart siding and then turn it around. Now, sometimes it just depends on how these industries are laid out. Sometimes I want my first drop-offs and pickups to be right behind the engines, and then other times I want it to be at the tail. So in this case, I'm going to have to come down here, and then I'm going to be backing into GAFS, Grimway Farms. I can't do those 3 yet. So what I'll likely do is, I'm going to put GAFS and GRIM just behind the engines. All right, so I want GAF Materials Corp South. That's going to be up behind the engines. And also Grimway Farms. Maybe I'll do it like that. Okay, Grimway Farms. I'll go into Grimway Farms, GAFS. So the reason why I'm putting them behind the engines is because if we're coming this way, we pull into this siding, I'm going to cut it so the whole rest of the length of our train will just stay here in the siding. And I'll only have to move these two industries down the spur and back them in when I do the pickups and set out. So make it a lot easier. And I can even cut those cars here. So when I make my pickups for GAFS and Grimway, I can set them down here on this siding and leave them there and pick them up on the way back when I come back to the yard, just so I'm not dragging them with me. That's an option. Okay, so then next we're going to keep going this way, and we've got Zerker Scrap and JD Rush. I can do both of these. So I'm going to go with the same thing. I want those to be next in line. Zerker will be, let's see. Okay, so I want it to be JD Rush next and then Zerker Scrap. So here's JD Rush. That'll be next. Let's see, nope, I got to put it there. No, it's kind of confusing actually because there we go. It doesn't like give you an insert line. It when you drag, it highlights the whole thing, but I have to figure out. So that puts it above that one that's highlighted. All right. So it's JD Rush, then Zerker Scrap. I want to put, there we go. JD Rush, Zerker Scrap. Now in the map, when I'm here, at some point I'm going to cut off the back of the train here, and I'll pull up, and I might even cut off Zerker Scrap, come in and do JD Rush, because it could be tight in here. I don't know how much room I'll have. Do JD Rush, back up, and then I can do Zerker Scrap, and then connect back to the rest of the train. And again, I can decide at the time if I want to push all my, it would probably make sense, just push all of my pickups into one of these sidings here. So I might back all the way up, put the pickups in there, and then do the setouts, and then just I'll have a whole string of pickups just sitting over here, and I'll get them on the return trip. So I'd have to come in like right here and grab them. All right, so those are the last industries that are trailing point in here. So then I'm going to go up. I'll be coming this way, go through Famoso. I got to skip that one. Skip Kovacevic 5 Farms. I'm coming into Early Mart. Now this is where it gets more confusing because now I'm running around the train. So I run around it, and now I'm coming back, and next up I've got Kovacevic 5 Farms. So I want these to be right behind the locomotive, because if they were in the rear, let's say like in the back of the entire cut, I would have to pull all the way forward, and I'd have to do the switching with the entire train of cars here. And I don't want to have a big long, moving cars that I don't need to. So I want these cars to be directly behind the locomotives when I get here. So I can just leave the rest of the train over here and just take these cars for the pickups and setouts. But it gets confusing because I just ran around the train. So whatever was on the tail end when I pulled into this siding is now going to be right behind the locomotives when I run around it. I actually want this Kovacevic to be on the tail when we leave the yard. So I'm putting it down here at the bottom, because after we're going to depart. Here's the engines up here. We're heading out. We do our moves. We get to the runaround. The engines run around. Now the engines are down here, and Kovacevic is right behind them. So that's perfect. We work Kovacevic, connect back to the train, start heading back south. We come in here. Now we want Nutrient AG. That's next. I'll pull into the siding. So I want to move Nutrient AG right behind Kovacevic. Right here. Because remember, now that we did the runaround, now the engines are down here. So we did Kovacevic. Now we got Nutrient AG. All the rest of this train is behind us. I can just leave them on the line. I'm not moving these around when I'm switching Nutrient AG. After Nutrient AG, we continue heading back south. We come over here and we take this crossover back into the siding. And now I can do GAF here, GAFL. and Builder's First Source and Westlake Pipe and Fitting. Oh, you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these here as well in the siding. I don't need to drag these with me either. That'll make it easier doing the rest of these couple up here. Those industries will have a lighter train. Might as well just leave these here. So this track is 210 feet. That's pretty short. Where can I leave these? Maybe I guess I'll just have to leave them in here. Yeah, maybe what I'll do is put the ones that are facing point in this siding, and I'll put my pickups in this siding. Hopefully there's enough room. Well, I do have, it's only 210 feet, but I do have a little bit of room there too I can use. Oh, I do have all this. I wonder how long these tracks are. But I guess I could use those for storage potentially as well. All right, so if I go back when I'm heading in initially coming this way in the beginning, I'll drop off the trailing point or the facing point in here. So I want those to be on the tail end. And then that way when I come back, I'll grab them and back them in. I don't know if it really matters what order they're in. Might not worry about it too much and just figure it out when I get there because there's only a few industries. I guess I want Westlake Pipe Fitting would be on the back as I'm backing in. Then Builder's First Source because I got room to drop those here. Then GAF and then GAFL. So I'll do it in that order. So this is a great one for this video because this is very complicated. So since we're coming in this way, and then I'm going to run around them, I want these to be on the tail end of the train, and I want them to be in the opposite order because then I'm going to run around it. So it's going to be Westlake Pipe and Fitting will be more towards the inside of the train. Then Builder's First Source. All right, so I want Westlake Pipe and Fitting, then Westlake Pipe and Fitting, then Builder's First Source, then Gaff Materials. All right, Westlake Pipe and Fitting, Builder's First Source, Gaff Materials. And then these I want to put above that. All right, let's walk through it here and see if we got this right. I think we might have it right. So when we start off, engines are up here at the top. We come in this way, pull into the siding. We drop Westlake Pipe and Fitting, Builder's First Source, and the two Gaff Materials into this siding. And it's easy because they're on the tail end of the train. They're down here, these four. Because remember, engine's up here, so I just cut it right here. After Nutrient AG, drop these four off. Those four are now on this siding. Then I continue on and I do GAFS, the Gaff South, and Grimway Farms. Grimway Farms, Gaff Materials South. Those two are right behind the engine, so that's perfect. And I'm leaving JD Rush through Nutrient AG, leaving those on this siding right here as I do this switching. And then I put my pickups into here, and then I reconnect and I pull forward and I do Zerker Scrap, and I do JD Rush. And those are next here, JD Rush, Zerker Scrap. And these, there won't be anything here because the pickups, I did the setouts already for these, and the pickups for these, remember I left on the siding just temporarily. So all I've got now behind the engines are JD Rush and Zerker Scrap. And I might, these two are there as well. Kovacevic and Nutrient AG are connected, but I might cut it here, drop them here as I work those two. Then these two are done. I'll reconnect. I'll back up. I'll put the pickups over here. So all the pickups, again, remember, are there. Now I got my train, and I'm going to continue on. I got to come over here, run around it. Then on the way back, I hit up this one. I do Nutrient AG. I come back into here, into the siding. And now I've got just pickups. I will back them onto this siding. So now this whole siding, this 2,170-foot siding is full of pickups. I'm going to run over here, and I'm going to come to the other side of the setouts that I dropped off initially right here. We'll back them out, and all the way to Westlake Pipe and Fitting, back right in, do the swap there. Builder's first source, handle those, pull forward, do the two gaffs and the GAFL. Come back up here, connect to all our other pickups, and we'll head back to UP Bakersfield. Sounds perfect. I think we got it. I think we're good here. All right, so now that I have the order set up correctly in Order Builder, and this saves, which is awesome. So if I were to go back or close it out and come back in and reopen the LRP 96, they're just going to stay in that order that we just set up. So now I'm just going to leave the sliders here for now, see what happens. I want this as customer sorted. ID only is fine in this case. Allow zero car, that's fine. Let's do a generate train. And there it is. So I got 46 cars, 18 empties, 28 loads, 2,800 feet. And here's all the cars in order. So green means they're empties. And then if it's red down here, they're loaded. I can even select one or more by holding shift, or I can even hold control if I want to do that. And I can drag them around if I want to rearrange them. But in this case, I don't need to do that. So here's all the cars in the order that we just set up. Now, if I am thinking, 2,800 feet, that might be a little long. I can just hit regenerate. I can save it just in case, but I don't really care here. I'll just hit regenerate. Now we got one that's 41 cars, a little shorter. I think I'll go with that. Let's do save. And we are ready to go. We're done with Order Builder. I can close that and open Run 8. Okay, now I'm in UP Bakersfield Yard. I'm just going to hit F1, go to my train tab, and look for the train we just saved. And there it is, LRP 96 YouTube. Load into consist editor. Oh, I got to put some power on here. Let's go with... All right, so I've added a SD40-2 and an SD40T-2. I'll go place train, and I'm going to drop it down right here on track 5. Let's just make sure everything looks good. HPT 1.5, that should be plenty. What do we got here? Oh, we got a mix of empties. Oh, there's a bunch of loads there. So 1.5, these two, this should be enough power. And then you can see here they're tagged. So we've got the Grim, GAFS. What was the one? KVV. Oh, there's only one? KVV has the, that's Kovacevic Farms. Only one car. That's surprising. Only one car for KVV. But, that's what it did. I can change it, but that's fine. I'm going to just put in the local, which is the LRP 96. And by doing that, it's also going to allow me to use the Run 8 switch list feature. So if I click, since I got LRP 96 here, and I do right control L is what mine is, I got a switch list here. So I got my pickups, and I've got my setouts, and it tells me the order and all the info that I need. And if you don't have the symbol, like if I just change this lead unit symbol to none, and now open my switch list, see how it just cleared out? So it needs to have that, the train symbol. If I open up my industry config here, the train symbol has to match exactly whatever the local freight symbol is. So in this case, I have it programmed as LRP 96 because that's what it is. And now you get a switch list. And there you have it. This local job is ready to roll. Our map is ready. All I got to do is hop in. So now when I start the video for this local job and I say we're here in Bakersfield Yard, here's our engine, we're hopping in after drinking our coffee. Now you know how we got to this point, ready to work the LRP 96.